There's so much information out there. It's changing every single day, and it can be absolutely overwhelming.
We just don't take the time to take care of ourselves, or we're busy taking care of other people instead of ourselves.
The problem is that sometimes they tell you that one day it's a superfood and one day it's absolutely awful for you. So how do you kind of debunk and figure out what it is that is good for you?
America is bountiful. America is entrepreneurial. It's diverse. It's progressive. And it's really sick right now. I'm inspired by looking around every day, and I see how sick people really are. And it makes my heart very sad to see how sick people are and how much they don't know when they could be educated in such a simple way with some simple advice that could absolutely improve the quality of their life forever.
It's the way we treat our bodies. We charge these every night when the battery is low, or if they need an upgrade because they're slow. We put gas in our car when the tank gets low, or we do a maintenance of oil change every, 3,000 miles. We don't treat our bodies with the same respect as we do our toys, which is ridiculous in this society, but we're just so fast-paced and instant gratification, we forget that our bodies need more respect than the toys we have.
The first thing is you got to realize that you have to take care of who? You. Yeah, and you're responsible for your health. Exactly.
It took me so long to get here to this bad place that I need to take the time to get to the good place.
We all have to work together. We all have to work within our realms. We all have to figure out where we best can serve, but understand that who's the most important person in the room? It's the patient.
I was diagnosed with cervical cancer and basically went through the whole type of protocol where I get a second opinion, and I've seen a slew of doctors and my results kept changing. And it got very frustrating for me in terms of knowing what to do and what was the right decision to make. And being so young and never having had children, I wanted to make sure that I made the best decision so that in the future everything was going to be, fulfilled, and that I would still be healthy in the long run. And because of all of my frustrations and kind of taking control of my own health and doing my own research, I decided to not do the optional surgeries that they had offered to me and kind of take my health into my own hands.
Whether it's mainstream medical or at this end of the spectrum of alternative and complementary medicine, we look at the things that there's universal acknowledgement, universal agreement on. And nobody's going to argue that fruits and vegetables are good for you.
If I eat a Big Mac, what are my cells going to be tomorrow? They are going to be Big Mac cells, the quality of a Big Mac. If I eat a piece of broccoli, what are my cells going to be tomorrow? The quality of that broccoli. Do you see the difference? There's a no-brainer there. Okay, that makes sense. So what you eat is what your body is made of. So when you look at nutrition, you must eat good food.
Can what we eat influence who we become and who we are as a human body and disease rates? Obviously, here's what happens. If you put something in your body that's inorganic, your body does not recognize that particle, that molecule. It gets right down into neurobiochemistry. The brain even doesn't recognize that food as a food substance if it's a food-like substance, like GMO foods. It will simply not even acknowledge it. So the only intelligent thing for our mechanism, our magic, of our body to do is isolate that particle, molecule, neurotoxin, and it'll place it in storage areas, which happens to be the fat of our body.
So is an apple today worth an apple 20 years ago? Absolutely not. Our farming is what? It's depleted. So you must, all those toxins, all those things that you don't know that's in there, you must be able to get it out of your system.
We need water to flush out toxins. I see people grabbing for the waters. That's a good thing. We need water to flush out toxins because toxins are stored in our fat cells. So when we're burning fat, you're releasing toxins into your system, and you need to be drinking plenty of water so that they get flushed out.
When stresses come at us, our bodies to some degree shut down for survival's sake. And what happens is we're not actually eliminating toxins properly. Our stomach's not producing enough hydrochloric acid, enzymes, our intestines are not moving the food through, and our glandular secretions are altered. There's a problem.
If someone's emotionally constipated and they have problems letting go of something, they're probably physically constipated too. And that's a huge part of detox, is eliminating those wastes. The longer it is in the body, the more it keeps absorbing it into tissues. So we'd want to be able to clean them from the inside out, and kind of like an emotional enema for them that they need. So it holds in the tissues. So when we do a massage too, it eliminates that lactic acid, takes it out, and they help, it increases their ability to detox.
And anything that you're doing to help break down and clean out the body is going to help it detox. And that's one of the things that we do. And one of the things we tell people when they finish the massage is make sure to drink a lot of water, because all those toxins that we've now released into your system, you need to flush it out. It's very important that that's a part of the massage process, to make sure you drink water and help clean your system out.
For every metabolic system in our body needs water. Our bodies are 70% water. They're not 70% Coke, Gatorade, coffee, alcohol. There's 70% water.
If you have cancer, what is one thing you should not be doing? Drinking sugar.
In several studies, people that drink diet drinks actually gain more weight than people that drink regular drinks. You think, how can that be? It's a 0-calorie drink. Here's why. There's two kind of rules of thought behind this, and it's probably a combination of the two. One is the psychological factor. I'm drinking the Diet Coke, so I'll take the biggie fries. We tend to eat more because we trick ourselves and think, oh, I'm getting a Diet Coke so I can afford to have the splurge. But also we found that all of the artificial sweeteners slow down the neurotransmitters between your stomach and your brain that tell you you're full. Okay, so you're drinking a Diet Coke or some diet soda or something like that with your lunch. Your stomach is saying I'm full, but your brain hasn't gotten the message, because it slows it down. It's a 15-minute delay. So you're eating more than your stomach really would if you weren't drinking the artificial sweeteners. First step is looking at the behavioral side, is figuring out what to eat. They need to get the education and the knowledge around what to eat, what's good for them, what's not good for them. But they also need to deal with the emotional side.
We all absolutely adore eating. Eating is not the problem. It's what's in the food resources that we need to examine, and it's our food habits that we need to examine. So if we can get some distance from what our food habits are, we get to heal.
The way our body processes food is similar to, if I were to use an analogy of a fireplace. In a fireplace, I have a choice. I can either burn paper or I can burn a log. Obviously, the log is going to be more efficient, but paper has its advantages. It lights really fast and burns really quick. If I have paper and a log in a fireplace and I throw a match, the paper is what's going to burn first, because it's always going to take the path of least resistance. It's going to do what's easier, which is the same as human nature. And in our bodies are the same way. So in our bodies, paper represents carbohydrates, and a log represents fat. Fat is actually the most efficient source of fuel for our bodies. It's really what our bodies are designed to burn. However, it's always going to burn paper first because it's easier. So paper being carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are sugar and things that turn to sugar quickly, the starches. So when we're trying to lose weight, for example, we really want to lower the amount of paper that we put on in our fireplace. Because if we're having cereal for breakfast, our body's burning all that cereal, donut, Pop-Tart things for breakfast. It's just getting to the point, getting excited around lunchtime and think, great, I can start burning fat for fuel. And then we have a Coke or a sandwich, more paper. And again, our body trains to burning paper. And again, comes time to dinner time, finally ready to start burning fat for fuel, and we have another soda or dessert or more paper, pasta. And our body goes the whole day and never lights the fat burning log. So the goal in weight loss is not losing weight, it's really losing fat.
It doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand that if the body is fed the right constituents, the right nutrients, that it embraces it. It thrives on it. It doesn't just survive on it. It thrives on it.
My kind of goal in clean eating and superfoods is it all natural? Is it organic? If it's something with a label, does it have less than 3 ingredients on the label? So the best way to find those foods are fresh, local, and organic, and really just going with something that is green, something that's not full of too many natural sugars, and really filling your body with just clean products.
Foods that are compromised with things like carrageenan and blue dyes and you name it, silicon dioxide, excipients, fillers, I could go on with a list that's longer than I can even remember. The body is freaking out. It's like, give me a break from all this, will you?
If you can't pronounce what's on the box, don't eat it.
We used to be reading the labels, and I need to make sure that artificial colors in there, natural flavorings. No, that uses the same hexane byproduct that they use to create artificial colors and flavorings. We had to be careful of the flavor packs and the BPAs and the red, the blue dye number 2 and the yellow dye number 6. And I mean, did you ever feel like you're going nuts trying to figure out just what you can put in your mouth and feel good about? I have. And that's why I was organically farming in 1979. And that's why I opened a vegetarian restaurant. And that's why I was sharing my values about organic. Because it is important. And it's more important than you know. And it's less expensive than you think.
Nobody's going to argue that fruits and vegetables are good for you. So eating more fruits and vegetables. I tell people, try to add, it's not so much worry about taking away, but focus on what to add. If you can add a raw fruit or vegetable to every time you eat, breakfast, snack, lunch, dinner, that would do a huge benefit to your health.
Look for local farmers, look for local co-ops. Speak to the farmers, go to farm markets, ask them questions. Where did they get their food? Where is it farmed? They're simple questions to ask, but you can find a treasure trove of places to find organic now because a lot more people are actually growing in smaller communities. That's why I say, make the trend your friend. Open up your mind, ask enough questions, look around. You'll find people, you'll definitely find people. Food intake is very, very important. If the food intake has been compromised for a very long period of time, and in some instances not even that long a period of time because children are beginning to experience all kinds of major issues with regard to ADD, autism, allergies, etc., obesity. When that begins to happen, when that food influence has become compromised for any consistent amount of time, drinking sodas all day instead of drinking water, it would only make sense that the body finally has had enough. It's going to warn you. And those symptoms are opportunities to make change. I always tell my people, any pain, any discomfort, any skin rash, any irritation, any headache, any symptom is an opportunity for you to change. That's the reality of it. So does it influence disease? Absolutely. It sneaks in, and very often we're taken off guard. Now we're in the medical model. We're in what I call the disease care model.
They're finding plaque in kids' arteries at 10. Did you hear what I just said? They're finding heart disease in kids that are 10 years old.
Disease rates are spiking in the categories of ADD, autism, autoimmune disease, diabetes, obesity, and the list gets very long.
in order for you to understand what I'm saying, in order for a cut on your arm to heal, your heart to beat, your lungs to breathe, information must travel from the brain down the spinal cord out those nerves. Makes sense, right? So what if I cut that nerve that went to your heart? What happened? What? Really? You die. Let's just be honest. You die, right? So what if I sat here and put pressure on that nerve? 10%. Are you going towards health or disease? If I put 20%, are you going towards health or disease? 50%. Exactly. So why would people walk around with 90% blockage in their heart? They do. Yeah, and they don't even know. So that's the point. So you may not even know you have pressure on your nervous system that goes to your heart that's making it function. You may not know that you have pressure on whatever, your lungs that function. So do you think you're producing disease or health? You're producing disease. Chiropractic doesn't treat any disease. It treats subluxation, and that's it. And subluxation is an impingement of a nerve. So what happened with this person is they had a C1, C2 problem and what we call a military neck, a very straight neck. Been having seizures for years and years and years. As a matter of fact, she had about 42 petit mal seizures a week, which is horrific. So what we did is we worked with her. We did some films. We figured out what was wrong with her. And we started adjusting her. And as soon as we adjust her, the seizures went away. Now, I never said that I treated the seizures. What I said is I treated what was the cause of those seizures, the subluxation. And the great thing about that is after the first day of adjustment, she didn't have like a seizure for a week. And then after that, she barely had them. So those 42 seizures she was having a week went away. That's amazing. And it was due to chiropractic.
There was a mother who brought in her child, it was a baby, who wasn't being able to take the breast. And the mother was freaking out, and the doctors basically told her that the child was going to die because the child was unwilling to take any form of nutrition into its body. The grandmother was also in the room, a very small room about the size of this room. The grandmother was crying when the mom told me this story about what the doctor had shared with her. We did one chiropractic adjustment, one very light chiropractic adjustment, and using the pinky actually. This is an infant, okay, still breastfeeding. And the baby took the breast. And the baby started feeding. And the grandmother just started crying profusely. The mother started crying profusely. With all the frustrations of business associated with building practices and doing what you need to do to get yourself out there every minute of it, it was made worth it in that very instant.
So typically when you go to a chiropractic office, what do people expect? Which is very disturbing to me. You walk in the room and a new patient walks in, they go, I just want to adjust it. I don't know what's wrong with you. Why would I touch your spine, which is the most powerful thing you have in your body, and rack and crack you because you just wanted an adjustment because you think it's good? That's the wrong way to do it. You have to come in, you have to go through a process of learning what's wrong with the person. I have to know if they have, prior injuries, whatever's going on. We have to do a computerized scan to see if you even have a nerve issue. And if there is a nerve issue, we have to do x-rays. When we do x-rays, it shows us structurally what's going on so that I can say, okay, this is exactly what's going on. There's the nerve interference. Here's where it shows on the x-ray. This is exactly how we're going to adjust it because we do short lever adjustments on that vertebra to move that specific vertebra in a specific position. So yes, did that make sense in that process? Because I have to know what's wrong with you. So when I go in there, I know exactly what to do. And I think that's why we get such good results, is because we do go overboard and we find every single thing that's going on. And then when we do find it, we attack it. And when we attack it, we correct it. When we correct the problem, it all goes away.
With the help of my mother, who is a massage therapist and truly also believes in the power of nutrition and diet and exercise, I was able to kind of transform my life. I became a vegetarian. I changed everything that I was eating. I eat very, very clean. And I turned towards fitness in order to change what was happening inside my body. And over time, I started to feel better. I started to have more energy, and I was actually able to get rid of the cancer with a little bit of therapy through the doctors, but no drugs, no medicine or anything like that. And now I just live that lifestyle.
What do you think is the best exercise? What do you think of? What's swimming, walking, cycling. Here's the secret. You know what the best exercise is? The best exercise is the one that you'll do. Obstacles for that is time, because I don't have the time to exercise. And I understand that. I'm a single dad, 3 kids. I don't have the time to go to the gym every day and work out. That's not my reality. But I still get exercise every day. Whether that's, my office is on the 7th floor, so whether I run up the stairs in the morning and it takes me 5 minutes, or I get down on the floor and I do 20 push-ups between clients and it takes me 30 seconds, at least I'm getting some exercise every day. Your body actually produces its own internal medicine. And it's in the endothelium, the lining of all your veins and arteries. It's almost like a 24-hour pharmacy. You have little microscopic pill bottles, and your body produces antidepressant medication, cholesterol-lowering medication, blood pressure-lowering medication, all kinds of medication. Your body produces it naturally. However, all those microscopic pill bottles have like a child-proof cap on them. And what opens up the cap is when you exercise, nitric oxide flows through your veins and arteries. And it's that nitric oxide that opens up all those pill bottles, and your body takes what it needs. Takes a little antidepressant medication on that Monday, takes a little blood pressure lowering medication. So your body can produce a lot. I'm not saying all of its own medication, but your body can produce much of its own internal medication. So exercise is critical for that as well as for weight loss.
Whatever you do that you decide to change about your food habits, make sure it's congruent with what you want in your life.